Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to Bare Bones Motorcycles. I'm Rich, and today we're going to look at making the new stainless steel airbox for the GS build. Okay, so here we are. We're back in the shed. It is really hot in here. It's like 30 degrees. So I am going to crack straight on with this. We're going to start off with taking the airbox off, and then I'll talk through as I go what my thought process is on how I'm going to tackle this problem. It's a little more in depth than the normal problems we do on here. So if you want to chip in with anything, chuck it in the comments box and I will check it out as I go. Enjoy. Okay, so the original plan was to have a cylinder going across the bike this way with some tabs coming off to go onto these mounting brackets where the old airbox was attached, and then have some fitments to come from that onto the carbs, which, you know, it's still doable. It's just going to take a little bit of finesse, I think, to get it to fit in there, because with the narrowing of the frame and with this bracket here, which, if memory serves, is what the petcock attaches to. Yeah, the fuel line's good. Yeah, that'll be what the petcock attaches to. So that's in the way, really, but I don't want to move it because, you know, it's where all the fuel lines are. So I'm going to use the measurements I've got, and I am going to order a piece of stainless pipe, stainless tube, probably 4-inch diameter, maybe 4.5-inch diameter, something like that, to put across here, and we'll shave the edges, we'll cap them off, and then worry about how we're going to get it onto the carbs afterwards, unless I just fabricate a complete box to put on there, which is also an option. I've got a load of sheet steel there, sheet stainless, which I can... Oh, it's tricky. I'm going to take a few days to think about it, and the next scene you're either going to see me with a bit of pipe or we're going to be cutting up some plate. Okay, so it's been it's been more than a few days. It's been about a week. I need to get my head around what I was going to do and order the parts. So I have decided we're going to give it a go with using a tube to make the body of the airbox, or the plenum, I think is a technical term. So this is what is it? It's 404 stainless pipe. It is 4 inches diameter and a 2mm wall section. So this is going to go in here once it's cut down. And then I have also got this lovely bit of pipe, which is the right size to match the output of the turbo. So this is a 34mm diameter stainless steel tube, and I've also got a selection of these silicon turbo connector joints. I'm not sure what they're like. They're bent bits of silicon tube. There's probably a technical term for it, boost pipe maybe. So this is what's going to hook it all together. So I've got a couple of 90s, I've got some 45s, and we'll see how we're going to route it to make it all work. But first off, put that back. We're going to cut this down so that it will at least fit in this pocket in the frame. I do want to utilise the original mounting point because I think that's, well, it's just a sensible thing to do, really. So we'll do that. We'll measure this up and we'll start cutting. Okay, so we're going to get the measurements for this off of the original Airbox at first because, well, we know that it fits. So to get the length of the tube, because obviously, you know, we're going to be going that way, we're a lot longer than what we need to be. This Airbox, we're going to go slightly smaller than this because I've got to cap the ends as well. We're going to go 190mm end to end. So we'll do that cut first. Just put that over there. With a pen. World famous Crayola. So 190mm. Okay, so we're all marked out. We've got 190mm length there. We just zip this off and then start figuring out all the cutouts we're going to have to do because it's got to go around the petcock and everything yet. So safety first. Okay. Probably find a use for that for something else. Keep hold of that. Okay, so that, in this wide section, that's going to fit in there no problem. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, that's where the petcock's going to be. So I want to give that plenty of room. So we're just going to mark that out roughly, I don't know, let's put that about there. And then this side, we just need clearance to come in from the frame. So let's come in about there on that one. And then let's go to the middle of the pipe like that, and then what we'll do, we will cut down straight to there and whack straight to there, and then when we weld the caps on, we should be somewhere close to where we want to be. Right, so marking out on a cylinder is often a difficult thing to do. So, where's my set square? There he is. What we're going to do first is find a nice straight line by using that across there like that. So this is going to be our reference point. And then this is petcock side, this is turbo side. Okay, so I'm going to put that up like that, and we are going to come, oh, how am I going to do that? Put that on there. That use a normal ruler, and we're going to find the widest point, which is about there, which is 114 millimeters. And then from that, so half of that is 114 is 57. So 57 is there, and we're going to put a little mark just there, like that. So from there, we want to do 114 mil, which is about there, like that. There and there. And then set square that up. Like that. So we've got here and here down to the petcock, here and here. Oh, hang on, do that again. So now we've got, zoom you out, this line and this line down to here for the petcock, and then the same one here for the turbo side. So where is my thin rule? These are the joys of having things like a thin 6-inch rule, because we can put a line from there and sort of flex it round. Let me just hold that in the vise a sec so that I can use two hands. Careful not to deform the pipe. I'm going to flex that round to go from there to there. Like that. Same on this side. Like that. But what we'll do is we'll just flatten that off a little. So that's the line we're going to follow, because that will make finishing off the cap a bit easier. Come down onto there, like that. Same for this side. Right, let's cut that out. Okay, Right, I just cleaned that up a little bit with the sander, and then we'll test fit it in the hole. Right, that fits really nicely in there, which is just what we want. Although saying that, I've not checked this with the tank on. Where does the tank go? I might have to sink it a little lower, somewhere around there. Where does the old airbox sit? The old airbox was... oh no, we're going to have loads of room. Loads of room. Yeah, we're going to have loads of room. That's cool. What we could also do is actually take these off a little here, but we'll sort that on a later time, I think. We'll just double check everything. I'll quickly throw the tank on and then just make sure that I do have the clearance I think I do, because it would be a real shame to fabricate everything up and then find that it doesn't fit because the tank sits too low. So let's quickly put that on and then we can have a better guess as to what we're doing. Okay, so the tank has got this lovely great big space in here, which this fits inside. So I know it's going to fit, but we'll put it on just to prove the point. Let's sit that in there. That goes down into those holes. Oh, like that. Right, let's just change position so we can see underneath. Right, so with the tank on, it's kind of hard to get to see, but that's where it's going to sit. So we've got loads of room in there. I can move it up all this extra way before we hit anything. So we know we're in clearance, so we shall push on. Okay, so in order to get this mounted onto the carbs, obviously it needs some out ports on there. I have taken the rubbers off of the old airbox because there's nothing wrong with them, and you know, they're perfectly reasonable to use again. So I'm going to measure up how big this area is on the airbox, and I am going to fabricate a little box which we can put onto here. We'll cut that section out of this, weld that into this, and then I can use these rubbers to put this airbox onto the bike. So I'm going to get myself a pad and a pen. Ta-da! One pad and pen. There's my pen. There's my pen. So we were at, that was 119 millimeters across the top of there. But to get these on, we only need 118, no. What am I on about 119? 190, 185 to fit these on. So our little box is basically going to look something like that. Right, so that there 185. Top to bottom, let's call it 90 millimeters. There to there. Not 190, 90 millimeters. And then that dimension there, the depth of it, we want, you basically need to know where 90 millimeters is across here, which is about there, and the depth of that is 25 mil. So that there, 25 millimeters with a 4-inch diameter in there, so a 2-inch rad. Yeah, 2-inch rad. We'll grind that in to make it suit. But we need to cut that shape out of this. We'll build that first, just in case, because I've only got one of these, so I don't want to mess this up. We'll put that to one side. Put that there with the old airbox. So we need to cut a net out. I've got some stainless, so we'll get that sheet out and we'll draw it up and cut it out. Right, so what we've done now is I've gone in and I've made myself a little egg-shaped template, which is the same shape as the holes in the airbox. We know what the gap is between the airbox because we measured it from the carbs. It's 109 to 110 mil. So we're going to put these onto here with 110 mil, so that's 55 mil aside from centre. We'll keep it central to this. We'll draw around it. We'll chain drill the holes out, file it all smooth, and then these rubbers should fit in. Unfortunately, this is 2.5 mil thick steel, and that gap there is massive, so they're not going to seal very well like that. So I'm going to have to, I don't know, possibly maybe just put them in with some sealant, some gasket sealant or RTV, something like that. Something just to make sure they don't leak, but other than that, they'll be fine. Right, let's get this all measured up. So we want the centre of this. Oh, that sounds nice. 45 mil. 45 mil. Oops. The centre of that. 185 divided by 2 is 92.5, which is about there. So 55 mil from there is the centre of one there and the centre of one there. Right. That, and that's like that. Centre on there, like that. So now we just line these lines up on here, like that, and we can draw around this nice and carefully. One. Two. Like that. So those are the positions. Oh, can you see that? Hang on. Change that focus. Oh, just. So those are the positions on which our inlet rubbers are going to go. Hang on, there we go. Centre you up. Can't see it very well, but they are there. Promise. I'm going to go grab my drill and we'll pop a load of holes in, and then we'll file them out and fit them in. Apparently both my dual batteries are dead. Okay, old school. Okay, so after a bit of filing and a bit of drilling, I've now got this, which hopefully these should fit in quite nicely. Now that tab goes at the top, so we'll squeeze these into here like that. There's one, and that one in there. There's two. Line them up. Right. So those fit in there really nicely. There's plenty of room in the back. So before I consider putting this onto the rest of the airbox, the tube over there somewhere, we're just going to make sure that this does actually marry up to the carbs, because there's no point going any further if I've got my measurements wrong. So hopefully that should just sit straight over there. Oh, it does help if the clamps aren't on. That one on. That one on. Brilliant. Okay, so that sits on there really nice. That's a perfect fit. There's not any trapped cables or anything. There's a good bit of clearance around the frame. So we'll put this onto the airbox. Okay, so now that this has got this nice big open hole to sit over, like that, I'm happy with the positioning of that, so we shall tack it on and then weld it in place, which is exciting. Okay, well that's that welded on. Pretty neat as well. So I'll let that cool off a bit, then I'll just smooth down the ends because I'm going to need to draw around them to get the shape to box these in. But for today, I think that is most of the fabrication work done. Can't really do much more to that because it's hot. Very hot. Right. Oh, so yeah, we're getting there. It's looking smart. I'm quite pleased with how it's coming out. If you can think of any other way of doing this, I mean, I know you could make your own sort of like airbox, similar shape to the original one, just add a sheet, fold it and do all of that. But there's also, one of the main reasons I went for a tube design is because it's easy to calculate what the volume is. Now, I didn't realise this at first, so I had to do a fair bit of research on it. So here's a bit of useful information for you if you want to turbo your own bike. Apparently, the whole system, from the turbo to the carbs for your air, the volume of that has got sort of like a sweet spot of size, which is typically maybe 2 to 2.5 times the size of the capacity of the engine. So this is obviously a 500cc bike, so I am trying to make this no more than about 1.2 to 1.3 litres of capacity all in all. Now this housing, once it's all boxed in, is going to have around about 900 to 1000cc of air in there. So that's most of my space used up already. I'm slightly out of focus. That's most of my space used up already. I've also got all of this to take into account. So once I cut all of this up and route it around the bike, I'm going to have to measure how long this is and then do a volume calculation, which I'll put in the description below, so that I know how much air is in this tube, how much air is in the airbox, and then I'll know if I need to take some space up. And the way of doing that would be to sort of like cut a box out the back of the airbox and sink in like a 3D box or something like that, just to take up some space. So a box is easy to work out. It's just its height times its width and its length. You times that in millimeters, that gives you your cubic volume. So if I'm over, I can just take a little bit out like that. If I'm a little bit over, I'm probably not going to worry about it. But if you're a long way over or a long way under, it does things to the running of the bike. I'm not 100% sure on it, but it's things like, well, what was it called? Pulsing or surging, which I'm assuming is just, you know, as you're going along, the bike just sort of goes whoa, whoa as you're going. You know, it's not running smooth. It's getting peaks and troughs in power. It's not something I want, so I'm trying to avoid that as I go. That's going to be hot for a long time yet, so I am going to call that a day for today. Join me next time for part 2, which will be boxing off the ends and routing this around the bike, and then we will start this bike up for the first time ever with forced induction, which will then give us an idea of how we need to change the jets. My suspicion is the pilot jet is going to be alright, but I might need to go up a couple of sizes on the main jet, or perhaps move the height of the needle. I might... no, I can't start it next time because I don't have pressurised fuel. That'll be the next thing after the airbox. We'll sort out the fuel, so I'm going to need a regulated fuel pump to put in line, and then we'll start it with forced induction. Yeah. Right. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. I hope you're getting something out of this. Anything which you can use to help you with your builds, or, you know, it's just something to kill some time throughout your day. If you've got a low spot, you know, check into one of my videos. I'm always happy to see the views go up. You know, it's nice to know that people are checking out what I'm doing. Don't forget to leave any comments in the box below. I always try and get back as soon as I can with any comments. I love hearing from you guys. Any tips and tricks which you might know of which can make my life easier, then feel free to share them. If you've got any questions or anything in specific in mind, then feel free to chuck that in there as well. Don't forget to still stay safe. Enjoy the weather. It's a gorgeous day outside at the moment. It's like 30 odd degrees. I am sweating in here. It's like a hot box in here. So yeah, stay safe with that as well. You know, use your suntan lotion. No one wants to be turned into a lobster. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Encourage your friends as well, your family. Get them all on board. Show them how awesome these videos are, because, you know, this is the best channel in the world, in my non-biased, totally biased opinion. Have a great time, and I shall catch you next time. Cheers.